This just dropped, and honestly, I still can't believe what I'm reading because if this actually happens, the Dallas Cowboys are about to look completely different, and I mean that in the best way possible. But before we dive into everything, hit that subscribe button right now because here at Blue and Silver Nation, we're breaking down every single Cowboys move the moment it happens, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Alright, so here's the deal, and pay close attention, because this is massive. Reports are swirling that Dallas is making an aggressive push to bring in David Montgomery, and if you understand football at all, you know exactly why this is causing such a stir across the league. This isn't just about adding another body to the roster, this is about fundamentally changing what this offense can do, and more importantly, what it can become. For years, we've watched this team light up scoreboards, we've seen the passing numbers, we've celebrated the explosive plays. But, and here's what nobody wants to admit out loud, there's been something missing when the pressure cranked up in December and January. We've all felt it, right? Those games where you needed to grind out 4 yards, you needed to break a tackle, you needed a back who could punish defenders and make them think twice about crowding the line. That element has been inconsistent at best, and now there's a real chance Dallas is about to fix that problem in a major way. Montgomery brings something to the table that you simply cannot manufacture. The man runs angry. He doesn't dance around waiting for daylight. He creates it. He presses the hole, he reads his blocks, and when contact comes, he doesn't shy away from it, he welcomes it. Those 2 and 3 yard gains that don't show up on highlight reels but absolutely show up in winning football games, that's his specialty. And the crazy part is, he does it consistently week after week. This is a back who has carried heavy workloads in tough environments and produced when it mattered most. Now imagine dropping that kind of mentality into an offense that already has Dak Prescott slinging the ball and weapons all over the field. Suddenly, defensive coordinators have a massive problem on their hands because you can't just load up against the pass anymore. You do that, and Montgomery is going to make you pay grinding out chunk yardage until your defense is gassed by the fourth quarter. But here's what really gets me excited, and I don't think enough people are talking about this. Play action. When you have a legitimate ground threat that defenses have to respect, everything else opens up. Linebackers can't just drop into their zones because they have to honor the run fake. Safeties hesitate for just a split second, and in the NFL, a split second is everything. That hesitation creates windows downfield that weren't there before. Dak, operating with a credible rushing attack behind him, becomes significantly more dangerous because defenses can't just pin their ears back and rush. They have to stay disciplined, they have to respect the handoff, and that discipline creates opportunities everywhere else. The passing game gets better because the running game commands attention. It's football synergy at its finest, and the Cowboys could be on the verge of unlocking exactly that. Now let's talk about what this means when games get tight, because this is where championships are won and lost. How many times have we watched Dallas get a lead only to feel our stomachs drop because we knew the offense might go 3 and out and give the other team another chance? It's happened too many times, right? But with a back like Montgomery in the fold, those situations change dramatically. 3rd and 2, with the game on the line, you feel confident lining up and running it down the defense's throat. That's not arrogance, that's trust in a player who has proven he can convert in exactly those moments. And when you can sustain drives late in games, you're not just running out the clock, you're breaking the opposing defense's spirit. You're telling them, we know what we're going to do, you know what we're going to do, and you still can't stop it. That psychological edge is invaluable, especially in January football. The red zone implications alone should have every Cowboys fan paying attention right now. One of the most frustrating things we've dealt with in recent seasons is watching drives stall inside the 20. Field goals instead of touchdowns. Momentum killed when it should be building. Montgomery changes that equation because inside the 10-yard line, when the field compresses and passing lanes shrink, you need a back who can finish. You need someone who can take the handoff and hammer it through for the score, even when every defender in the building knows exactly what's coming. That ability to convert in tight spaces is a game changer, And it also opens up play-action looks in the red zone that become almost impossible to defend. Defenses have to sell out to stop the run, and when they do, the bootleg, the quick flat, the tight end seam route all become viable options. That's how you turn field goals into touchdowns. And touchdowns are what win playoff games. And listen, I know some people are going to question whether this makes sense from a roster standpoint, but think about the message it sends. When the front office goes out and makes an aggressive move for a proven physical runner, it tells the locker room something important. It says we're not messing around. It says we recognize the window we have and we're going to do everything possible to maximize it. Veterans see that and their confidence grows. Young players see that and they understand the standard being set. There's an energy shift that happens when management backs up their championship talk with championship moves, and this would absolutely qualify as that kind of statement. The durability factor matters too, and I don't think we can overlook it. We're playing 17 regular season games now, plus hopefully a deep playoff run, and offenses that rely exclusively on explosive passing can hit walls. Weather becomes a factor. Pass rush pressure accumulates. Defensive adjustments start to take hold. But a punishing ground game travels in any condition. Rain, sleet, snow, swirling winds, it doesn't matter. You can line up and run the football regardless of circumstance. That reliability is crucial for a team with championship aspirations because you need to be able to win different types of games. Some weeks you're going to need to throw for 400 yards, and some weeks you're going to need to grind out a 20-17 victory in nasty conditions. Having the personnel to do both makes you a complete team, and complete teams go further in January. Think about what this does to opponents across the schedule too. When you're a defensive coordinator game planning for Dallas and you know you have to account for a back who's going to punish your front seven physically for 60 minutes, your preparation changes. You can't just focus on coverage schemes. You can't just worry about stopping the pass, because if you do, you're going to get run over. Literally. So you split your practice time, you split your focus, and that divided attention often leads to diluted effectiveness on game day. The Cowboys would be creating problems before the opening kickoff just by having Montgomery on the roster. That's the hidden value of true offensive balance, and it compounds as the season goes on. Now here's where I want to get real with you for a second, because this is something that matters culturally for this franchise. The Dallas Cowboys built their championship legacy on physical dominance. Those great teams from the past, they imposed their will on opponents. They ran the football with authority and they finished games with authority. Somewhere along the way, that identity got blurred in favor of flash and explosiveness, which isn't bad, but it's incomplete. Bringing in a player like Montgomery feels like a bridge between eras. It honors what made this franchise great while adapting to modern offensive concepts. Versatility and physicality working together rather than choosing one over the other. That balance is rare, and it's what separates good offenses from truly elite ones. The ripple effects extend to the offensive line too, and this might be underrated in the conversation. Offensive linemen love blocking for backs who finish runs. When they fire off the ball, sustain their blocks, and then watch their running back drive pile forward for extra yardage, it validates everything they do. It builds chemistry, it builds pride, and it makes the entire unit better. That symbiotic relationship between an offensive line and a physical runner creates something special. Everyone feeds off each other's energy, and the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Montgomery has a reputation for making his blockers look good because he hits the hole decisively and maximizes whatever they give him. That trait elevates everyone around him. Let's talk protection for a minute, because this matters more than casual fans realize. Third down passing situations require backs who can identify blitzes and anchor against linebackers firing through the gaps. If you can't trust your back in protection, your play calling becomes limited. You have to max protect more often, which means fewer receivers in routes, which means easier coverage for defenses. Montgomery is a willing and capable pass protector who understands his assignments. That reliability keeps the playbook wide open even in obvious passing situations. Unpredictability is a weapon, and keeping defenses guessing across all downs and distances is how you sustain drives and score points consistently. The wear and tear factor on opposing defenses across a full season is something that doesn't get discussed enough. When you force teams to tackle a 220-pound back who runs with violence for 4 quarters, that accumulates. By week 14 and 15, those same defenders you played in September are carrying bumps and bruises they picked up trying to bring down your running game. Late season matchups become advantageous because you've been investing in physicality all year, while finesse teams start hitting walls. That long-term thinking is championship thinking, and adding Montgomery would be a direct investment in that approach. Some reports suggest this pursuit is serious, and I want to be clear about what we know versus what we're speculating about here. League insiders have indicated Dallas is showing real interest, but until pen hits paper, nothing is guaranteed. This is the time when rumors fly, and some of them don't materialize, so we need to keep that context in mind. What we can say for certain is that the football logic behind this potential move is incredibly sound. Everything about Montgomery's skill set fits what the Cowboys need, and addressing a clear roster weakness with a proven productive player is exactly what good organizations do when they're pushing for championships. And honestly, can you imagine what this would do to opposing game plans week to week? You're already dealing with a quarterback who can beat you with his arm, you're already dealing with receivers who can take the top off the defense, and now you have to account for a physical ground game that's going to punish you for 60 minutes. Where do you focus your preparation? What do you sacrifice? Stack the box and get torched over the top. Play light and watch Montgomery churn out first down after first down. There's no clean answer, and that's exactly the kind of offense that terrifies defensive coordinators. The choose your poison dynamic is real, and Dallas could be on the verge of creating exactly that scenario. As we head toward the offseason and potentially beyond, every Cowboys fan should be watching this situation closely. Championship windows don't stay open forever, and when you have a franchise quarterback entering his prime years surrounded by weapons, you have to strike. Complacency kills contenders faster than anything else, and aggressive roster building separates the teams that talk about winning from the teams that actually do it. If this move happens, it signals organizational intent at the highest level. It says, we're not satisfied with divisional titles, we're not satisfied with wildcard appearances, we're building something that can win it all. That message resonates through the locker room, through the fan base, and through the entire league. The formula becomes clearer with every layer you examine. Establish the run to soften fronts and control tempo. Leverage that ground threat to open up explosive play-action shots downfield. Convert in the red zone with physical football that defenses can't stop even when they know it's coming. Protect the lead late with methodical drives that drain clock and break spirits. Reduce turnovers by staying balanced and avoiding predictability. Every piece of that equation improves with Montgomery in the backfield, and when you stack multiple improvements on top of each other, the cumulative effect is dramatic. So here's my take, and I want to hear yours in the comments. If Dallas can make this happen, they need to do it. Period. The fit is perfect, the timing is right, and the potential impact on this team is enormous. We're talking about transforming an offense that's already dangerous into one that's genuinely complete. We're talking about addressing a weakness that has haunted this team in big moments for years. We're talking about making a statement that this franchise is serious about winning championships, not just competing for them. If you're still here, make sure you're subscribed because this story is developing and Blue and Silver Nation is going to have every update the second it drops. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you make this move if you were running the Cowboys? And what does adding Montgomery do for your confidence heading into next season? I can't wait to see what this fan base thinks because Cowboys Nation always shows up with the best takes. Let's get it.